Today I review the comic Batman the Killing Joke. Hello and welcome to the show with reviews. I'm Auram, and normally on the show we review 3 comics every week, but because The Killing Joke, the movie version, is coming out in a couple of days, I figured I would finally sit down and actually read the classic, and I wanted to give you my thoughts on it, so let's get started. Okay, so normally how I structure my movie reviews is I talk about what I liked about the movie, the good, what I didn't like about the movie, the bad, and then kind of get into more specific stuff, which is the spoilers. But normally I don't do that for comics, but since this is kind of a standalone comic, I figured I would bring that format to this one, since I'm just reviewing that today and nothing else. Okay, so first up, the good. The Killing Joke was written by Alan Moore with art by Brian Ballard, and because of this, it is really good. It's Alan Moore. He's known for being a great comic book writer, and he doesn't disappoint here. And I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, yeah, this comic has been out for years. We know it's great. That's all great. But I am just now reading this now, and I can attest, as someone who doesn't really read DC Comics all that much, and who hasn't read a lot of the classics, that this is still a genuinely good book. It holds up. The writing was great, like I mentioned. I don't really want to get into too many heavy details because that kind of goes into spoiler territory, specifically what I want to talk about, but one thing I will mention is that the Joker backups in this were really well done. They were kind of just smoothly introduced. They didn't disrupt the story at all, and they just kind of flowed in and out of them. As far as the art goes, it was fantastic. The inking and just kind of the pencils were like par for the course, but the coloring was gorgeous. And I know that there have been various updates and recolors to this book, but the one that I read was specifically the original coloring, the one that came out. Actually, Scott lent me his Killing Joke comic, which is back there. It's the first edition, first print, all that. So that's what I read. The coloring was just really dynamic, and it fit the tone of the book, and it just changed when it needed to, and highlighted the things that it needed to, and I don't want to give specific examples, because if you haven't read the book, you really should. It's really good. But, yeah, I just really liked the coloring in this. So those are the things that I kind of generally liked about the book. Like I said, overall, I really loved it. It definitely deserves being called a classic. So let's move into what I didn't like about the book. Honestly, I don't have too many issues with this book. It's good. I don't know what else to say. I kind of wish it was a little longer, maybe, but other than that, I don't have too many qualms with this. It started off really well and ended off really well, so yeah. Speaking of the ending, now we're getting into spoilers. I'm not gonna give you a spoiler warning. Just leave if you. I guess this is a spoiler warning, but I'm not gonna do an annotation or anything because literally it's The Killing Joke. I mean, everyone's read it except for me apparently. Okay, so a big point of contention around this book is the ending and how it ended, how people interpret that, what Alan Moore intended. I think Grant Morrison said something that led people to believe another thing, and personally, I think something happened. I don't know exactly if Batman killed the Joker, but I think something ended somewhere, somehow. With Joker telling that final joke where the friend would just turn the light off and halfway through and the guy would fall and die, they represented that with the car lights. It ended in that last panel, the light turned off, and I think that has to mean something. Even if Alan Moore didn't intend Batman to kill the Joker, he wouldn't have put that there if it was just nothing, if it just meant nothing. So I feel like that has to mean that either Batman did kill the Joker, or Joker killed Batman, or the Joker's career is over, or it could be a multitude of things. And of course, that argument kind of does go out the window when you consider that it is in continuity, but still, it's nice to think about as a standalone story. And hey, with there being 3 Jokers in the DC universe now, maybe this one did die or did stop being the Joker, and he's just one of the 3 that stopped his career. One last thing I wanted to talk about that was slightly spoilery is there's a part where Joker and his kind of carnival crew are laughing at Gordon, and he's in a cage, and they're saying that, look at the ordinary man, he's so small and ordinary and physically ill-fit or whatever, and I found that really funny, because if you flip that on its head, Joker's speech, a lot of that could be applied to, like, if a hero was saying it, or just someone that wasn't the Joker was saying that. It kind of could be really empowering for someone who's kind of an outcast. I don't know, I just found that funny. Yeah, so that's my review of the comic version of Batman the Killing Joke. The movie is coming out in a couple of days, and I will actually be doing a review of the actual movie next week, so stay tuned for that. I'm interested to see what they do with the movie. I don't know the running time of it, but I assume it's at least an hour and a half. And this book isn't that long, so I don't know what they're gonna do there. But that's all I got for you this week. Be sure to subscribe before you head out so you don't miss out on anything that I upload every other Wednesday and every Saturday. And of course, thank you so much for watching. Next time I review the movie. I already said that. That's what I'm doing next time. I feel like I'm just shitting out buzzwords.